So welcome, Michelle. Thank you very much for joining the Dementia Friends session. Do you know anything about Dementia Friends, Michelle?
I know a little bit about Dementia Friends, and I've got personal experience of a family member having had dementia.
And what's that been like for you, sort of living alongside that? Because I'm interested in how people see the word dementia. What springs to mind when you think of dementia?
Challenging, hard work, frustrating.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
They're all really obvious words, aren't they? But when I did my first Dementia Friends session, and they said, all those words are to do with suffering, there's nothing positive there. And it really woke me up, because the whole idea of Dementia Friends is what does friendly feel like for somebody that's trying to navigate dementia. And it can be quite conflicting in a family when people have different views around what it means to have dementia.
yeah,
Dementia Friends is actually, it's a social action movement, and it's all about increasing the understanding of dementia in the community to get people to feel inspired. It's very simple. It's led by the Alzheimer's Society, and it's really just a strand of the work around creating dementia-friendly communities. And interestingly, our community in East Herts is way ahead of the curve. There's only about 50 communities in the country, and we got our dementia friendly status thanks to Macaulay Ray last year. So we feel quite lucky that we are way ahead of the curve. Anybody can get it, but actually people seem to think it's more about older people, but increasingly there are people in their 50s and 60s that have got cognition problems. It's diseases of the brain, and in the same way that a kidney or a heart can be diseased, dementia is caused by physical damage in the brain. Sequencing, somebody who's getting dressed might put the shoes on before their socks. Somebody with motor skills, they might struggle with a knife and fork or climbing up and down the stairs. Somebody with dementia might forget the word for, say, a horse. They call a dog a horse or something like that. The other thing is inhibition. Somebody with dementia who used to be very quiet and shy might become much more outgoing. Their senses, somebody with dementia might get confused when they see maybe something on the floor and they think it's a hole, or they think, a nice swirly carpet is actually snakes. And that's a key thing for us, to put ourselves in their shoes. We've done a lot of work, thanks to Macaulay and the team, to become a dementia-friendly community. And this is the fourth key message. People with dementia could still be working, still driving, still have great relationships. What they can do and how long they do it for will depend on their circumstances. I went to a lovely presentation by a lady who'd written a book, and she said, rather than living well, I would like it to be living as well as I can, because
yeah,
somebody that's an author and still writing books with dementia is very different to somebody who really has not got the skill to be communicating with the outside world. That's a very important message. So they talk about listening is very important, speaking at a slower pace, reducing the distractions. We were talking about that earlier, turning off loud TVs, moving to a quiet area, thinking about your body language. Eye contact's really important, making sure that you mirror how they're looking and feeling maybe. Music has now really been shown to spur their memories back to life in the brain. So music from when they're young that they love. And it's interesting, somebody now in their 70s, it's not music from wartime. It's actually music, the Beatles, it's music from the 60s. It's the music that they would have loved as young people. That's really important, rather than our view on what good music looks like. In the same way that we would look at someone with cancer, diabetes, and see a person first, there is much more to the person in dementia.